What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, I'm yours forever. It's Desra.
Yeah, that's Ken's.
We're stuck with each other, to be honest. That's kind of all it is.
And sitting across from me, of course, is Brian Paul.
And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we sit around and dust the blow off an old PlayStation VR game.
I really thought you did that one on purpose.
Not this one.
Awesome.
And we check it out. We see if it's been improved since launch. We see if there's been any updates, any DLC, any patches.
Yep.
And then we tell you, the loyal game cats, whether you should or should not be playing and/or watching this wrong show.
Yes.
But here's the thing, right?
Every once in a while, we kind of stray from the true path.
That's true. That's true. And this week is kind of a happy medium.
Yeah.
That being said, Desert, what game are we playing this week?
We're talking about 2018's The Tetris Effect.
Tetris Effect from Enhance Games came out November 9th, 2018 for $39.99, playable in VR and non-VR.
Yes.
All right. Well, cool.
All right, well, have a good week, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you call that a review. It's more of a summary than anything else. But what kind of game is this? This is the dumbest question I've ever asked on the show.
It's a Tetris game.
It is totally a Tetris game through and through.
I mean, it is a game that's a genre. I mean, there are so many, like, switching, drop, stuff, drop, do things to it that all just trace back to Tetris.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think Tetris created its own genre.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes you go, oh, it's a puzzle game. And you're like, oh, you mean like static? Or like, we even call Moss a puzzle game because even though it feels like a platform, you go room to room.
Yeah, it's a puzzle
you're solving puzzles.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Tetris created the block-falling puzzle game.
Yes.
Hint? Or the block-falling puzzle genre.
So see next year, the Dr. Mario effect.
We're going to talk a little bit about Dr. Mario later in this episode.
Oh, okay.
I mean, slightly Dr. Mario.
I didn't read my script.
But there's two things we need to talk about before we really start this episode.
Yes.
And the first is, we always want to be as transparent as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk to somebody and you go, hey, what do you think about Tetris Effect?
Yes.
The first thing you should probably know about the person giving you their opinion is what are their thoughts on Tetris proper.
That's really important.
Right? So let me ask you, what are your thoughts on Tetris as a game?
Love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's been a classic. I've had it original NES, my first Game Boy, onto the computer, PC, etc. Tetris Attack on I mean, not really Tetris, but still lots of fun. What was that?
Tetris name has been
was it
like
Super
slapped
Nintendo
on
or
so
no?
many things.
Was that N64?
Tetris Attack, I believe, was N64.
N64, yeah.
I believe.
So yeah, like Tetris, yeah, good stuff.
Now I'm thinking, I can't remember which one was Pokemon Puzzle League. There's so many of them.
I want to say it was N64.
Somebody in the comments has already corrected us.
Oh yeah, yep.
All right. I also agree with you. I've been playing Tetris since day one.
You agree that's my history with Tetris?
I agree with your thoughts on Tetris.
Okay.
They are also my thoughts. I've been playing Tetris since day one on the PC. I mean, when there were, I don't even know if there was like any music or there's just changes in backgrounds.
Yeah.
Or there was some really crappy, music, if nothing else. And it was so cool to see Tetris packed in with the original Game Boy.
Yeah.
Because I really think that although the Game Boy would have been popular without Tetris, I mean, that was something that like just propelled Game Boy into first place. No questions about it. Hey, this is your Tetris machine for $90. It comes with it. So many people got a Game Boy and never bought another game.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like you would see adults back then, like they would have a Game Boy. What do you have? What games do you have? What do you mean?
Yeah, this is it.
Like this is what I play Tetris on.
It was the Wii Sports of the 90s.
Yeah, and like you kids today don't understand, but it really was like Tetris mania. It was everywhere, everything. I remember actually. Did you do this, filling up notebooks? Like graph paper notebooks with drawing the shapes?
I might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
do that all the time.
I was crazy.
Yeah.
And the other thing we need to do before we really start this episode, how many minutes in? 8 goddamn minutes. Is is talk about enhanced games.
Okay.
Because now you know who we are as reviewers. But now you need to know about the person or people who made the game.
Yeah.
And enhanced games when you say enhanced games, it's really one person. It's Tetsuya Mizuguchi.
Yes.
And he made, he's responsible, mostly the producer on these games.
Right.
He's responsible for Luminous, Gunpei, Every Extend Extra, Rez and Rez Infinite, Child of Eden. I mean, there's a long list here, but these are the ones, I mean, the core tenets of Tetsuya Mizuguchi's development lifespan.
Yeah. And that's going to be really important for you as a viewer, as a player, and a reviewer to know a history with that and see how you feel about those games.
Yeah, because they all have something in common.
Yeah.
They all have you doing somewhat simple menial tasks. but the actual gameplay, the thing that you're doing, isn't really what the game is all about. The game is most of these games are assaulting you with audio and video that is almost unrelated to what you're doing, and that's the stuff that you kind of take away from the game. It's not so much the game itself.
Correct.
And Tetris Effect follows suit. I mean, almost exactly how you think it would.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about Tetris Effect. What are you actually doing in this game?
This is going to be a real weird show because what you're doing is playing Tetris.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have, there are...
Spoilers, they're all real weird shows.
That's yeah. I mean, you do have, there is this themed, I don't want to say background animation because it's kind of, you're in VR, so sometimes it bleeds in and around you. It's themed to different levels, and there's, music that as you progress through the level, gets increasingly more complicated. With pretty much with every song, with every level, and this is one thing where it kind of bugged me a little bit. They cheat to make the sound like when you flip the pieces, it's depending on the level, it makes a different sound. But they'll either play it a little forward or after you actually hit the button just to make sure it hits the beat. Because I found myself trying to deliberately not hit the beat to see what happened, and it would fudge it.
Okay.
A lot of times. But yeah, so moving the pieces kind of works in with the music and the beat of the music, and eventually gets the better you do on the lines, the more complicated the music gets, the more full the sound gets, and the more the animation around you either gets more intense, adds more to it, and sometimes changes entirely.
Yeah. Rotating the block in different directions creates different sound effects again to the beat. Yep. Dropping the block, creating lines of. It's called getting a Tetris, right? When
you get four.
All four. And so all of these things contribute to the soundtrack, to the audio visual experience. And if you're listening to this going, geez, this sounds a lot like Luminous.
Yeah.
There's a good reason for it.
It is.
Because back in the day, Tetsuya Mizuguchi wanted to make a Tetris game, but he couldn't get the rights from EA. And so he created Luminous. So in some bizarre alternate history, Tetris Effect could have been a launch title for PSP.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're almost the same game,
right?
And it's a little baffling because when I was playing Tetris Effect, I was like, this is really good. I was like, but this is Luminous. That's what this game is. This is Luminous in VR, except instead of the following squares, they're following tetraminos.
Yeah.
Which I'm not complaining about. I'm just saying that
tetraminos.
What is it?
I don't know. I was just one of those words I never said out loud, and I always read it as tetraminos, but tetraminos.
I mean, if it's dominoes, I'm assuming you're right, but I've probably never
tetraminos. Isn't that one of Dimitri's friends?
Somebody in the comments again has already corrected us. Now, oh man. So anyway, what's the point of all of this?
Tetraminos. He owns a pizza shop down the street.
Yeah. So that's it. This is Luminous in VR.
Yes.
And there's no. I don't have any real complaints about that. But it's a little more. Like even the Luminous games have always been a little bit more than just about, hey, you start at level 1 and you play as far as you can, and when you're done, you're done.
Right.
There's always been some extra modes, and there's actually 2 main modes in Tetris Effect.
Yeah. Before we get to the modes, there's one thing we do need to talk about as far as the gameplay goes.
Oh, sure.
That this does add to Tetris and change because most of the other things like holding a piece to the side, etc.
Yeah.
That's been fairly standard. This introduces the flow mechanic, where basically as you do well, as you progress, you get lines, you kind of build up this flow meter down at the bottom, and once that's full, whenever you'd like, I think you pull the left trigger and it freezes everything, and you can continue making lines for a set period of time, and then all those lines kind of all drop at once.
Yeah.
I'm explaining it poorly. So you get a chance to, either use it as oh my God, I'm freaking out, I'm way behind. You hit that and sort of stop time,
right.
Give you a chance to catch up, or stack things up and line things up so you can do insane combos. Actually, there's a video of Trey Harrison, who is a professional or world championship NES Tetris player, playing this for the first time. And he was actually apparently the first person on video to get a decahexatris, which is
10, 6, 60?
16.
16.
16 lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's an interesting video worth checking out, and it's interesting to get his point of view. But this is about Trey's review of this game. I just wanted to point that out, so you can get some really once you get good at this, and you look around at your friends list and see how are they getting those high scores. It's with the flow state.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it though for as far as the VR element goes, right? Mm-hmm. Because this is played in, like I said at the beginning, played in VR and non-VR.
Yep.
And actually the footage back here,
yep,
non-VR. And here's the reason. Because on this little screen behind us, for you watching at home, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
And so instead of the picture moving all around, because I'm moving my head, I'm just gonna capture
that makes sense.
some footage here, make it easier for you to see. But it's basically identical in VR, just as you already mentioned. Things happen kind of all around you.
Oh yeah, the visuals are the same, but there is one really important difference, especially for high level Tetris players, which they brought up in this video I was watching. The latency on the PSVR headset is way lower than latency on pretty much any modern TV.
Interesting.
So for high level Tetris players, that's a huge thing.
Boy, VR does make everything better.
And in this case, it really does. Yeah,
it really does. It always has. I'm not lying when I say it.
Cat lateral damage.
Hey, there are exceptions to the rule. All right. So, but we were about to talk about two different gameplay modes.
Yes.
And the first one is Journey.
Journey.
Don't
stop believing, man.
I was thinking about the little dude running up the hill with a scarf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Journey is the game main. I mean, I guess you can call it the main game mode.
It's your campaign mode, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
It takes you through. Do you know how many stages there are?
I don't remember offhand, but there was a lot.
I shouldn't ask questions.
But this is information we should have. Let's say 23.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
It takes a couple hours to get through, just because they're done in sets of 3.
Yes.
And after every 3 stages, it rates you. It tells you how bad you are at Tetris.
Yeah.
For some of you, it might tell you how good you are at Tetris. For me, it tells me, hey, Brian, you're really bad at this. You probably shouldn't be reviewing video games.
Are you sure you want to keep going with this?
Yeah. I'm usually like a B or so.
I was all over the place, honestly,
when
I was playing this. Yeah.
And again, there's a certain number of lines that you have to clear until you get to the next theme,
right.
and then the screen goes white and everything zooms at you, but you know what? I want to be absolutely clear about something.
Mm-hmm.
When we say this is Tetris in VR,
yeah,
there's nothing VR about the game of Tetris.
No, not at all. The only things that are really have any kind of depth to them are the animations and the images around it.
Yeah,
the actual playing field is just flat Tetris.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that. But the trailers didn't depict anything else.
Yeah,
it's just you can zoom in and out with the analog stick and get closer or further away. But man, what you are doing is you are playing a flat game of Tetris in VR. And I think you need to consider that when you're thinking about this game.
Yeah.
Saying, okay, I'm cool with all the effects and everything, and that seems trippy and awesome, but am I okay with it still being the game of Tetris I've known and loved for years, flat against the background?
Well, and not even that. In some cases, as you mentioned before, kind of in our conversations, it's a lesser version of some versions of Tetris. There is none like the multiplayer, the direct multiplayer and things like that.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, but maybe we should tackle that right off the bat here. For me, people have said this is the best Tetris ever, and I almost totally agree with that statement. If it wasn't for the lack of multiplayer, I would say yes, this is the best Tetris ever. But just earlier this generation, like not even PS3 or PS2. PS2 is kind of, but just this generation, Tetris Ultimate.
Yeah.
Also on Vita, by the way.
Woo.
Right? You could play online. You could have like 4 players playing at once, and for some reason in my head, out there somewhere is a version of Tetris where you had like 8 players playing at once, but I can't figure out where that was.
Yeah.
And you're playing online against, and like you're sending blocks back and forth to each other or lines back and forth to each other. Like you're corrupting each other's game, and that is missing from this.
Yes. Yep.
And so you can't play this locally multiplayer. You can't play this online multiplayer. There is no multiplayer component to this whatsoever, and that's almost mind-boggling.
Right.
Especially for the $40 price tag.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. So
should we just keep moving?
Well, yeah, we'll go on.
We're not trying to rate it yet.
Yeah. Well, that's my mind jumped onto that track. So different play modes. So there's they also it's not Journey. What it is called?
Is it still Journey mode? Is it still what unlocks when you beat Journey mode?
No, I was just thinking of the next one where basically you have the different trials.
Effects mode.
Effects mode, yes. Yeah. Yes, effects. Man, I am just...
It's all right. Des has had a long day. I'm keeping him up. He's way past his bedtime, so don't mind him. I'm gonna run the rest of the show.
Well, effects mode is basically you do play. You get to choose different levels you can play, and then different styles of play. So you can play like, okay, how long does it take you to get 150 lines, or how many lines can you get in 3 minutes, etc.
Right. Effects mode is, I'll call them, some of them are mini games, it feels like. Some of them are alternate versions of Tetris.
Yeah.
But no matter what it is, it's still just, each one is a slightly different way of playing Tetris.
It's kind of a challenge mode. Let's just, call it what it is.
It's just totally challenge mode. And do you have any favorites?
No.
No?
Honestly, no. Yeah, I played around with a few of them, and it was just like, okay, this is this different version, this different version. I guess I'm a purist when it comes to Tetris.
Okay, I can totally respect that. Except after I'd completed Journey mode, which by the way unlocks theater mode. Theater mode, which basically is like you just sit there, and instead of playing Tetris, you just sit there, listen to the music, experience the visuals, and just go through basically the entire game as an audio-video experience with no actual gameplay, which is cool, I guess. But that wasn't for me. I was like, I don't need this in my life. Yeah. But if you're gonna rip it to if you're gonna capture the video footage and capture the effects and try to capture all the music without any gameplay in the background, I can see the use for it. And some people maybe just want to take drugs and chill out.
I was going to say, if you're really, really into this style of stuff and there's some recreational pharmaceuticals involved in your life, then that's probably what it's for.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never even heard of recreational pharmaceuticals in my entire life. Also, without Parole as a subsidiary of Recreational Pharmaceuticals Incorporated.
Oh, I wish. Oh, my God.
So effects mode. So for me, when I was done with Journey mode, I was like, all right, that was fun.
Yeah.
I was like, is that it? And then effects mode, because I really thought, I was like, oh man, this is just kind of like silly mini games, and I got stuck probably on every single effect mode that there was for hours. Because I cycled through and the descriptions don't seem that entertaining. I was like, oh really? That doesn't sound fun. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, this is fun as hell. And so I did every single one for hours, and I didn't intend to. But my favorite one, just as it was during my review, is Purify, which is Dr. Mario, basically.
Yes, okay.
You're clearing the infected lines, and the more you clear, the more infected lines come up, and it's just nonstop, and it's awesome, and it's super addictive.
But it doesn't have the Dr. Mario music, so that's all that matters.
It doesn't have the Dr. Mario music.
Which you have running through your head right now.
But what it does have, eventually, is the old school Game Boy music. Now, this is something interesting, right? Because there's an XP bar.
Yes.
And I love XP bars. Sometimes I don't even care what the XP bars do, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to play a game of Tetris and then finish the game, lose whatever, or do really well, finish and go, well, that I didn't get anything for that.
Right. And now I get to do it again.
Yeah. Right. So, but after every single game, even on the effect modes and journey mode, your XP bar shows up, and boom, boom. Next thing you know, you level up.
Yeah.
Seldom do you know what to expect when you level up.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are just like, oh wait, I leveled up and nothing happened.
Right.
And that's I don't like that. I want to say, hey, I want to play Tetris Effect tonight, but I want to work towards something.
Right.
When you're playing Firewall, it's like the entire time I was
You've got a goal, right? Yeah.
I was level 17, level 18. I was like, I just want to get to 21 so I can get a freaking signal jammer, right? But in Tetris Effect, you're like, well, I'm leveling up, but I have no idea what I'm working towards.
Yeah.
So I was excited to hear that once you hit level 50, as far as I know, again, these things are not really well laid out.
Not at all.
They're not really told to you anywhere.
Yeah.
They're just discovered, and then we kind of hear about them later. There was some community ritual goals, which are interesting. We'll talk about that in a second. That apparently, when those were met, that unlocked the original Game Boy theme, music, and some very cool Game Boy kind of backgrounds and stuff. So it was like, oh, cool! Like everyone had played and beaten this game and thought they'd seen everything.
Yeah.
And now stuff is still unlocking, which is awesome. But let's talk about these rituals, man.
Right. Well, is that just a way to get DLC in there without actually calling it DLC?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. We have this other stuff we want to pack in there, but we don't want to release it now, so we're gonna make it a ritual.
And that's fine by me.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to like reward us for to keep playing. I'm like level 23 or something like that, which is I think respectable for weeks ago.
Yeah.
Back when this thing came out, is probably respectable. But for people who have been playing it religiously since, I can only assume that they're doing much better than I am.
I think I'm only at like 15 or 16. I did not get that far, but we'll get to it.
So for a game that doesn't have any multiplayer, this community ritual stuff is I sort of really like.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So they basically say, we're trying to meet this goal. We're trying to clear, as a community, as an online community, we're trying to clear this many lines. And I don't know how many numbers it is. Like it's a ridiculous number, but with tens of thousands of people playing, we're all working together to meet this goal. So anytime a community ritual pops up, go play that, and then your score contributes to the overall online score, and then that also unlocks other things for you, different avatars and such.
Yeah. Well, it's like what was it? Magic, I think it was Duels of Planeswalkers, one of the Magic the Gathering things. It had very similar. Like every day there would be different goals, and you would basically the same thing. Everyone play this many times with a red deck, and you would unlock the same idea. So it's an interesting way, to I guess add a multiplayer thing.
Was this a PC game?
Yes, it was PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why does it even sound familiar?
No, we shouldn't sound familiar.
All right.
But no, yeah, it was dual. Anyways, doesn't matter. The point is, it's a way to kind of make yourself feel like you're part of a community without just having, just straight leaderboards up there.
Yeah.
We're actually we're getting points, putting up our points to impress each other, but also working together towards a common goal.
Yeah.
Which is, hooray.
Hooray.
Right. I do have a Des Nugget though.
Oh, I love Des Nugget.
Yeah,
it's my favorite part of the show.
It's been a while since we've had a legit one. So I was going through, and there's one of the earlier levels. I think it's like the last of the second group, called Ritual Passion.
Okay.
Where it's basically all kind of fiery, and there are these, silhouettes of people sort of cross-legged and going back and forth. There's really weird, kind of vocalizations. Mm-hmm. That is actually a form of Indonesian music called kecak. And I was actually in one of those circles once.
Really?
Yeah, it's so much fun. If you ever have a chance to do it, originally it's 50 or 150 people. It's like this men's chorus that all does it. But there was this group that came to my college, and we actually sat, and he kind of you folks say this, you folks say this. When I point at you folks say this, and it was really fun and cool. But
did you immediately recognize it? Like when the level popped
up?
The
second it
you're
came
like,
up.
I know this.
I heard the vocals, that sounds, and as soon as I saw the people sitting cross-legged, because that's kind of one of the things you have to do, it's like, oh, this is all this other music's like, oh yeah, he wrote this. The designer kind of made this music. No, he just straight up took this. So I thought that was neat. If that actually grabs you at all, which I don't know if it would or not, but
very small percentage, I'm sure, are very appreciative of this.
It's spelled Kecak.
Nice,
but anyways, so
I think the song that's selling this game, or at least sold it during the trailers and the previews, is called "Connected." And it's a song by Hydelic and Kate Brady, who did the vocals.
Oh, okay.
It's called "Connected," or probably more familiar to most people, "Yours Forever." And it's again, just like I talked about this on Beat Saber.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't my kind of music. This isn't something I'm gonna go out and buy the soundtrack for.
Yeah.
And I would never listen to it outside the game. But when I'm playing Tetris Effect, there's something about this song.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me go, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes me go, yeah. I get the chills, and because I got my headphones on, I'm in VR, and I'm totally all encompassed. Yeah. A Mitch Hedberg joke.
That's right.
and I'm just all about it, and the song is amazing, and it's not my kind of music, but it works perfectly. And I was capturing gameplay footage, right? And during my review, of Tetris Effect, people criticized the way I played Tetris. They're like, man, it's so painful to watch this gameplay footage because you're so bad at Tetris.
Then don't watch it.
Sorry. God, please don't watch it. Right? Unsubscribe. Click. Now the thing is, I'm playing today, and that's kind of running through my head. I'm like, I got to capture good gameplay footage, and I realize something that's very important. That Tetris is such an allegory for life, right? Because sometimes the luck is with you, right? And you're just getting nonstop piece after piece, the things that you want, the things that you need.
Yeah.
And everything's real easy.
Okay.
Right? And you're getting Tetris after Tetris after Tetris, your combo score is going up, your flow meter's going up, everything's going great. But sometimes when you play Tetris, you get nothing but crap.
Yeah.
All right. And sometimes when you're getting nothing but crap, you have to put things where they don't belong. And your stack of blocks is looking real messy.
Yeah.
And your life / your game isn't going the way you want it to. But eventually, what Tetris in life is all about.
Yeah. Is rage quitting?
It's rage quitting. That's called suicide, my friend.
No.
But it's what you do with all of it, right? So you can be like, I've made this entire mess of my life, but I'm gonna clean it up. And when you start cleaning that mess up, you're like, you feel great. It's like, yes, I've really screwed things up, but man, I'm gonna fix this. And I feel like sometimes when I play Tetris, I look at that mess of blocks and I go, this is just like my life, but I'm gonna fix it. And it's amazing, and I think that for a simple block following puzzle game, this really isn't.
Well, and I think that's great praise for Tetris, but I think what has happened here was they've taken Tetris and just kind of gotten away from that simplicity, and that just like, this is the game, clear the lines, make the mess, and it's throwing all this other stuff in there that is, in my mind, I think unnecessary and I think distracting.
I think we need to rate this game.
Yeah.
Because I think you're just about there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about this rating scale.
All right. So the rating scale is pretty simple. It's 1 is, yes, you need to buy this. If you have a PSVR, this has got to be in your library. This is it's universal. It's amazing. Go pick it up. 2 is, yeah, sure, why not? If it's on sale or if it's a genre you particularly like, go ahead, pick it up. It's not going to hurt anyone. And 3 is, no, do not buy this game. Friends don't let friends buy crap. We need to vote with our wallets and tell developers that we deserve better. So, 1, 2, or 3, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I got to say, since launch, we didn't talk about it, but the developers have gone in and they've fixed seemingly everyone's problems. Yeah. Apparently, there was lag issues, which I'm like, I can't even imagine. I'm like, this Tetris was lag. How awful is that?
Yes.
But those got fixed. There were frame rate issues. There were some bugs. I think the game crashed for some people.
Okay.
Apparently all been fixed. All right. Which is really good news.
I can see all those happening because the particle effects on some of these levels just maddeningly complicated.
We're dealing with the power of a PlayStation 4. You'd think that like it could handle some PS2 particle effects. Yeah. In VR I'd be like, I don't know. But anyway, so but the thing is I feel like if this game had launched at $20 instead of $40, that no one would blink an eye. Everyone would go, you know what? I'm like, yeah, it's just Tetris in VR, but man, those effects and people are calling this an emotional experience. I saw somebody, I want to say from What's Good Games, call it a sexual experience. Yeah, I don't know. People are weird.
You're doing something wrong.
Or doing something very, very right.
You're playing Tetris wrong. Anyways,
a new way to play Tetris, and you're doing a great job. But I want to say, sure, I can totally see that. Like when I was playing today and I was capturing footage, and my brain was when I play Luminous, when I play Gunpei, when I play Every Extent Extra, when I play Tetris Effect, it does the right thing to me.
Okay.
Right? It puts me in this weird meditative state where my brain is playing Tetris, but the rest of me is taking in all the extraneous stuff, all the audio, all the video, and feeling it. Okay. Like, and it can be emotional, I think, at times when you let your brain start thinking about how Tetris is an allegory for life, right? It seems ridiculous that I included that in this episode, but that was happening to me today, and I was like, well, okay, I get it. Tetris Effect, maybe for the first time since even my review, did what it was supposed to do to me. Okay. So, I love Tetris Effect. It's not a $40 game, unfortunately. Yeah. Without online co-op, without local co-op, without I don't know. It's for me, it's a $20 game, and if it launched at $20, there wouldn't be a single person out there going, I don't know about this game. I think every single person would. Well, in just a second, we'll hear more about that. But for me, it's a 2. It's a solid 2 because it's a great game. It's Luminous in VR, aka Tetris Effect. Mm-hmm. I love Tetsuya Mizuguchi. I love Res Infinite. I love everything he's ever done. Yeah. And for me, this is a great extension of his catalog. It's a thing that he should have made 20 years ago. Okay. But yeah, for $40, I can see a lot of pushback, and I don't agree with the price tag. I'm sure the original music in there
Yeah.
cost a lot of money.
Oh, sure.
You know, you're paying a lot of people to make music, probably royalty fees and stuff like that. The Tetris license itself, I'm sure, isn't cheap.
Yep.
So I get it. I might see why it costs this much money.
Mm-hmm.
But for the consumer, which we're always on the side of the consumer, we're not out here trying to sell video games.
No.
We're out here trying to rate video games. It's too much. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this would be an awesome game at $20 for $40. It's just too expensive. So it's a solid 2.
Okay. My sum up is this. Playing this game for the probably 4.5 hours I played it made me like Tetris a whole lot less than I did when I started playing.
Wow.
I was annoyed and I didn't like all the extra stuff. Maybe it's just because it wasn't working on me or whatever, but I found like I seem to have, it seems to be a pattern with Res and Luminous and things like that, claiming all these things, claiming synesthesia, claiming we're going to give you the flow state, claiming all, but then not actually doing that. Like their flow state is basically just, it pauses the game and lets you play faster. That's not what flow is. Flow is when you feel like that's happening. It's not when it actually makes it happen for you, which is a
when
huge
you're in the zone.
Right, exactly. Yeah, being in the zone. Yes, you feel like time slows down. You're on top of everything, but it doesn't say, "Okay, you're in the zone now. Click. We're gonna hit pause on the game." You know, it's very pretentious is the word that it comes to mind.
Sure.
And it just took a pure, simple, easy to understand and great game, and just added all this other stuff on top of it that like I said, at the end of the day, I like Tetris. I like playing Tetris less now that I've played this.
I'm curious what number you're giving this.
So here's the thing. I think you nailed it at the very top of the show. You said, you've got to see, do you like Tetris? And super, super, super important, do you like Res and Luminous?
Yeah.
I'm starting to decide that I don't like those games, and that it does not appeal to me. What those games are trying to do just either doesn't work for me, or there's some kind of disconnect. So if you like Tetris, but you don't like those things, this is a 3. Right. I think there are so many better places to spend that $40.
So that's you. You like Tetris and you don't like. You're giving us a 3.
But wow. I would say for most people though, it's probably going to be a 2. It's going to be a game. It's going to be harmless. It's going to be hey, it's Tetris. If you get it on sale, or if you do like Tetris and you do like Res, I'm still going to put it at a 2.
Okay.
Because I think it's
But for you yourself,
for me myself,
give us a 3.
So thankfully you let me borrow your physical copy of it.
Yeah, I mean, I bought him a physical copy.
Yeah, okay. Or well, I guess that's what happened.
Which, by the way, everyone should have bought while it was on sale for $20.
Yeah,
because that would have been the right price point.
Yeah. I would say if I had spent my own $40 on this, I would be really, really unhappy.
Wow.
Because what I was afraid of was like, oh, it's Tetris with shiny things. It's like, yeah, that's all it is. They're nice shiny things, and if you like those shiny things, you're really gonna like this. But man, it just made me Jones for just my PC.
So you don't agree with the statement, this is the best Tetris game ever made?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't either, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I really, and actually, it was funny, the kids and Amanda were all watching me play this.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait, that's it? It's like, yep. How much is this? It's like $40. And even my son, who is 9, who is, let's just say, does not have an informed opinion of video games, like, that's dumb. Yeah, well,
we'll have to get him on the show one of these days.
Yeah, so yeah, at $40, I don't think anyone should pay $40 for this game. I think $20 is, if you really like Tetris and you really like Res, go ahead. But I know I'm going to get some hate on this one, but I'm sorry, guys. Just not for devs.
Hey, what are you going to do? Everyone's got different opinions. Doesn't make anyone right or anybody wrong. What I want to say as an addendum is I really hope that this Game Boy level isn't the end of the cool, unlockable things. I really hope that enhanced games... I want to see more. I want to say, keep throwing stuff at us. Let's see what else is out there. I want to see some Super Tetris levels, because there's 10 of us that enjoyed Super Tetris back on PC. It might have had, did that make it to Super Nintendo? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Maybe.
There's so much they could do with with the structure here, with the formula, that I want more. And I think the more free stuff they throw at us, the more value we'll get out of this. But still, I don't think that even with a bunch of free stuff, we're gonna see more than. I don't want to see more than $20 paid for this.
Yeah, so I'll put this at a very week 2, I guess.
Very week 2.
Very week 2.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Hey, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Thank you so much for spending the year with us.
A holiday that no one can get upset about how we greet them. I was just thinking about that.
Oh, it's a non-denominational holiday.
Because there's people, if you say Happy Holidays, they'll get upset.
What about Chinese
Merry
New
Christmas.
Year?
Right, well, that's
different,
That's
right?
coming.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but we can say Chinese New Year.
I don't... as an uninformed person, when Chinese people go, this isn't Chinese... I mean, this isn't New Year, because Chinese New Year is New Year.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Although Chinese food isn't...
All right, fine. You've ruined the one thing that I could say to anyone.
That's right.
Great. One more thing to be paranoid about.
As always, we want to know what you thought about Tetris Effect. Did you enjoy it? Did you find it to be a sexual experience?
No.
I'm going to contact What's Good Games and be like, what exactly was sexual about this?
Are you okay?
What was happening while you were playing the game? Also, did you pick it up while it was on sale? Are you a fan of Rez? Are you a fan? I want all of these questions answered. Are you a fan of original Tetris? Did this convince you that you're a fan of Tetris? The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
This could have converted some people into Tetris fans. Who knows?
I won't spoil it, but if you want to check out that video,
I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, the Trey Harrison. He actually is basically watching him play it, and he has a really interesting take because he is a master of the original NES version, as pure Tetris as you can get. So it's worth checking out.
All right.
But
also, what other games do you want us to talk about? As the new year approaches, our list is getting smaller, but it's a never-ending list for sure.
Yes.
All right. That's it.
That's it.
For another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR, I'm Brian Paul.
I'm Dez.
And we'll see you next week.